Around a lot, but I know she has a lot of concerns, especially when it comes to Graham and his mom. And to be completely honest, I have the same concerns. They're for his little family now, for Kaylee and for Easton, and that he finally takes the opportunity to show up today.
You know, it is quite sad that this whole season regarding Kaylee and Graham has been based on Graham just not really being there. And Kaylee and her mum not having the security that Graham and his mum are going to be, you know, a big part of their baby's life, which is very, very sad.
Do have a little, I don't know, like a negative feeling about Becky being in the delivery room. I almost feel like, it's going to sound terrible. I just feel like in a way she could be a distraction. It's not Becky's place to be asking questions, especially when she's only had C-sections and doesn't know what an induction is like.
You know, at some points I was thinking to myself, I don't think Katie's mum actually likes Becky at this point, you know? I mean, listen, you can argue and say that she's got every right to not like her, you know, because Becky hasn't done much to be supportive throughout the pregnancy, nor has Graham, and also on top of that, Graham looks very worn down because of his responsibility towards his mother, and you know, obviously seeing him behaving in this way. But listen, there was a scene where he breaks down, you know, and Kaylee and his mum see that. So if anything, maybe there's a now resentment from Kaylee's mum recognizing that Graham's mum Becky now, you know, she's putting too much pressure on her son, but to make it worse, she's not really pushing her son to be there for his own child moving forward. So there is that point or that fear that her son may still stay looking at his mum more than him stepping up to look after his child. But as Graham did say in the last episode, which was very, very strange, about how Kaylee will automatically be the better parent because she's the mother and she can do more for the baby, and he started talking about breastfeeding or all these other things, which fair enough, but it's as if he was trying to say that, listen, you're going to be the better parent because you're going to take sole priority in raising our child whilst I'm still out here looking after my mom, as well as working XYZ. It just feels as if his priorities are not in the right place and his mom isn't exactly doing too much to push her son in that direction, to understand that his priority needs to be with his child, not with her. So I can understand if Katie's mum starts to have this worry or resentment or dislike for Becky.
Support Graham, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't want any negative reactions.
And right now I'm starting to second guess if I do want her here. Becky has done nothing but be negative and freak me out.
It was to stay to support Graham, but then Becky left.
Love you. Love you, love you, love you. I'll be here tomorrow, okay?
And things like these are the reason why we're in a position, or Katie's mum is in a position where she's like, I just can't. It's hard for me to just want to even like this woman. It's hard for me to even want to, you know, to want to coexist with this woman. Like, she's not reliable, you know? Yeah, now, listen, like, granted, Kaylee and Graham are both wrong for having a child at such a young age, granted. But if she's going to step up and help her child, obviously she's going to want his mum to step up as well, because at the end of the day, she doesn't want her child to end up being a single parent. And also, most importantly, she doesn't want to end up being the second parent to her daughter's child, her grandchild. You see what I'm saying? Listen, let me know your thoughts, because obviously it's a very interesting one, because I know obviously she's got bipolar and whatnot, but at the same time, it does feel as if sometimes in some of these episodes, as if it's being used as a tool rather than an actual genuine reason, if that makes any sense. But nonetheless though, let's move on to the next couple.
It showed Aiden that JJ's in Luca's life a lot more than he thought. I don't think Aiden wants me to have anything at all.
If you ask me, Aiden should welcome the fact that JJ is a good dude and loves Luca.
Piece of evidence.
I mean, listen, to be honest with you, should he welcome to the fact that his son has a good role model around him, a good male role model around him? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if you're not doing your job, you know, being the male role model that should be in your son's life, and he is, you should be happy, because at the end of the day, why would you want him to be with someone who's disgusting? You know, somebody who's a terrible role model in front of your child. But some people are just built to be selfish because, well, that's just the way they live life.
The judge agreed with Aiden, and that means giving Luca to Aiden
Every other weekend, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and every other Monday, which makes it impossible for me to be in Myrtle Beach.
It definitely feels like everything he's doing is on purpose, is purposely just to ruin their relationship, which is so freaking sad and ugly.
What are my options? Can we figure something out until the 3rd? He said, yes, leave Luca with me till the 3rd. I said, I can't leave Luca for 10 days. Can we figure out something practical, please?
obviously Aiden doesn't want to do anything that involves, Leonazing with Jenna. He wants to make everything challenging. It's crazy because someone who actually cares about his son, he would make sure that his relationship with the mother of his son is a healthy one, because at the end of the day, if he's going to create an unhealthy environment for his son, that surely tells you that he's only thinking about himself. You know what I mean? Because for them to have a conflict in their relationship is going to be very, very sad. And these are the things that people don't understand. These are the things that are very traumatic for children. When you come from a household where mom and dad are not together, but they don't get along. Listen, if mom and dad are not together, but mom and dad are getting along, that doesn't cause that much trauma in a child's life. Compared to mom and dad are not together and they have a completely unhealthy relationship, that causes a lot of trauma. You can minimize the trauma of not being together by having a cordial relationship, so therefore it doesn't create that abandonment issue or other issues that a child could go through. You see what I'm saying? But hey, Aiden only thinks about Aiden, sadly so.
To come there and talk. He won.
I know he won. He has all the leverage.
I'm not ever dropping child support again.
Damn right. Shouldn't have dropped it in the first place. Obviously, she did it because she wanted to move to obviously be with JJ, purely because, Aiden wasn't doing much anyway, you know what I mean? But hey ho.
We come to an
He
agreement.
is going to pay me until he legally doesn't have to.
The one who agreed for me to move to Myrtle in exchange for him not to pay child support. So for him to get lawyers involved is just ridiculous. Me out. Because, this money, it feels like it's going to waste. Like I'm just dishing out thousands of dollars to an attorney, and Aiden's doing the same. Could you?
And the maddest thing is that all that money put together, save it all up, it would do so well for Luca. And also on top of it, somebody who agreed to not pay child support, that doesn't make sense. So you now want to pay money to get lawyers involved, but you didn't want to pay child support. That make sense?
Imagine if we put everything we both spent into an account for Luca.
Okay.
You're out in the intersection.
All right.
Holy
Look, you're yelling at me.
what are you?
Stop.
You're gonna get us killed.
Just wanted to go.
I'm so glad that they swapped chairs, because at the end of the day, when somebody is distressed, they should not be driving.
What? Because it's not about Luca. It's not. I think now that I'm happy in Myrtle with JJ, he wants to mess that up.
I agree. I honestly do believe that, I mean, it's crazy because all of this could have been avoided if Aiden had just acted right. And when I say acted right, I don't mean acted right in terms of them still being together in a relationship. I'm talking about acting right when it came to co-parenting. Do you see what I'm saying? This situation would have been dealt with so much more better and so much more, easier and so much more comfortable. But obviously that was never the case, you know what I mean? Sadly so, which is obviously why they are where they are now. Now listen, I'm not saying that Jenna's been an angel in this whole situation, but at the end of the day, right now, based on what we're seeing, Aiden is the one that has created the scenario that has now made the situation into something that is ugly when it doesn't need to be ugly. But nonetheless though, let me know your thoughts, and let's move on to the next couple.
It's not just you guys anymore, it's you guys and a baby. On top of us being crammed into this small bedroom, and we really only leave to wash Wesley's bottles and Nate's.
Emily is going to be one of the most unrealistic, annoying characters, people, cast members of the season. Like, yo, you had a kid. You're 18, he's 16. You've got a kid when you knew you did not have a home to go to, a home to provide for. What did you expect was going to happen? Just be happy that you two can raise a child in the same freaking household, because a lot of others don't have that luxury. You see what I'm saying? Okay, of course the situation is not ideal, but are you paying rent? No. Are you providing food? No. You're living in a house where literally rent is provided for you, food is provided for you, food for yourself, your kid, the whole shebang, because you ain't working, and we know Nate ain't working because he's going to school. So both of your parents are still providing for you two. You know what I'm saying? You're literally living luxury right now. She is so ungrateful. This girl really, really got under my skin in this episode.
Siblings. I hate it, and I feel really angry all the time. It's Nate's first week back at school, and I'm not loving it.
See what I mean? Why not? You don't want him to go to school and, do something with himself and then be able to get a job that's going to provide what he needs for you and your family? I'm not saying he needs to go to school to do that, but at the end of the day, he's planning to go to school to get a certain job that he wants, you see what I'm saying? So therefore he can be the best father and the best potential partner for the rest of your lives. But nah, instead of supporting and, being encouraging, she wants to complain about it.
I have to take care of Wesley all by myself.
I think Emily is.
damn, God forbid you have to look after your son by yourself. Oh my goodness gracious me. I mean, you do realize, like, even if you two are older, right? Nate would still have to go to work to bring money home anyway. So, like, I always say this: the moment that a woman becomes pregnant, she's automatically going to be a single mom for the first year or two or whatever, depending on the type of relationship you have with your partner. Do you see what I'm saying? Because someone needs to bring in the bread. But in this situation, he needs to bring in the qualifications. You know what I'm saying? This girl.
Really hard on him. And I do wish Nate would stand up for himself. But, you know, I need them to figure it out. That if this is going to be a relationship that they figure out.
I respect the fact that the mum doesn't want to intervene. She wants them to both, you know, basically figure out for themselves rather than intervene and, you know, be the person that dictates certain things, and therefore means that any issues that they both have, they will never actually be able to work it out together because there's always the mum to the rescue. So I like the fact that mum doesn't get involved.
How to communicate with each other and get through, you know.
I could say some really mean things right now. I think 16-year-old boys have a lot of maturing left to do.
Can somebody make sense out of that? Listen, you're 18 and you had a kid with someone who's 16. You made a choice to have a kid with somebody that was 16. But just because you're 18, it does not mean that you are more mature than he is. You see what I'm saying, okay? So at the end of the day, she can sit there and complain about a boy being 16. What do you expect? He's 16. You want him to act like he was 30? What's wrong with you? And to be honest, from what we've seen, he's doing the utmost best to be a daddy. You know what I mean? At 16. You know what I mean? Based on the last episode that we saw, he was doing more than you when it came to raising your kid. This girl loves to complain. Oh my goodness. I mean, boy, I don't want them to break up, because I would like to see them have a healthy relationship moving forward. But Nate, if it comes to it, bro, you need to leave her because she's giving you a headache. Choose your peace over this madness if it gets worse.
And now that he's a father, he's gonna need to grow up. I'm starting to resent Nate, and that scares me. I'll know sooner or later whether things will get better, but at this point...
Why are you starting to resent him, though? That's the question, you know? I think that she's starting to resent him because she has to look after the baby by herself whenever he goes to school. Wow. He's in school for a couple hours, you know what I mean? Like, whoa. I mean, he would be home. I don't know the American times in the UK. Like, if you're going to school, obviously this is high school, right? Which is obviously the same school to us. Technically speaking, you get to school... Yeah. So what? You get to school about 8:30 in the morning. You're back home around about 3:30 to 4 in the afternoon. You know what I mean? So you've got the whole evening anyway. She's acting as if like my man is going to be gone for like days. And to be fair, the hours he's going to school anyway with the same hours if he was working. So it doesn't change whether he was a mature man with a job compared to being an immature man that goes to school. The hours don't change of him disappearing. In fact, if he was a mature man, as you say, he's not mature, which probably he isn't, going to and having a job, does she not realize that his hours would probably be more, and therefore she'd probably see him less, and he'd probably be more tired, and therefore he'd probably be less useful? This girl, no brain cells, just wants to complain. The entitlement is annoying, but nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts, and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.